Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's easy level puzzle. Now take that easiness with a grain of salt because it's considered easy by the people on the Logic Masters Germany forum, and there's a lot of really smart people there. Today's puzzle is called N.E.W.S' Very 10th Puzzle by N.E.W.S. And I'm going to be doing this grid, but essentially, it's better to explain using the other grids that he created. So we'll do that first. One of the grids is essentially a normal Renban Sudoku. And basically, this is a normal Sudoku with just the Renban rule here. So the rule is, normal Sudoku rules apply, which means fill the entire grid with the digits 1 through 9 without repeats in any row, column, or box. And all of these Renban lines are essentially must form a consecutive set of non-repeating digits on each Renban line, which is the pink lines. So as an example, this is 6 digits, so it could be something like, I don't know, 7, 6, 9, 4, 5, and 8, right? Because these are all consecutive with each other. It forms a consecutive set from 4 through 9, right? Because there's no breaks in between, and there's no repeats on this Renban. So this satisfies this Renban line. And so for this grid, these essentially these are all Renban lines, right? We're essentially superimposing this grid with another grid, which is very similar, but in this case, it's basically a region sum line. So all the lines here are region sum lines. You also have, so basically it's superimposing these two grids on each other. And he has them separated so that you can actually see the actual Renban lines and separate region sum lines. And a region sum line, it has its rules of a box border divides a region sum line into segments which sum to the same value. So therefore, these 3 digits must sum to the same as these 4. These 2 digits must sum to the same as these 2, which must sum to the same as these 2, which must sum to the same as this digit, which must sum to the same as these 2 digits. And that's how regions sum. And then this digit must sum to the same as these 3 digits, which must sum to the same as these 2 digits. And that's how a region sum line works. And these are the different region sum lines we have. So we're going to superimpose both of these grids onto the same grid. And remember, you have a region sum line and a Renban line potentially in the same. And actually, it's a lot of the same cells. So we combine those two, this grid with this grid, to create this grid, where you have a normal Renban region sum line Sudoku with the overlapping segments labeled purple. So this is part of the Renban, and it's part of the region sum line here. This is part of the Renban also in that box, but it's also part of this region sum line here. These are exactly the same region sum line and a Renban, same as these, and the Renban is here, and the region sum line is here. We have Renban being the same in here. Is it really that many? I thought it was, I guess it could be 7. I didn't check. Huh. But I guess this is 7 in length. Renban line, and then the region sum line goes here to here. And then we have a Renban forming this way, and then a region sum going this way. And those are all the rules and superpositions of the lines. If you like to play along, I'm going to be posting a link to. Actually, I'll post a link to both the separate ones, with essentially the two, the Renban and the region sum lines separated out, and then I'll also post the first link will be a link to the combined grid, because I know probably most of you will basically want to be using that. But if you also want to use to be able to see the Renban and the region sum lines separately, I'll post links to those too also. Anyways, those are all the rules. If you like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now I'm going to get started. Let's go. Okay. We have a 9-cell Renban, which is also the same as a region sum line. And the region sums, we have 4 sets of 2 digits adding up to each other, and 1 digit, which is the sum of the other 8. Well, if you have a Renban that's 9 cells in length, that must be basically the digits 1 through 9, because there are no repeats. So the single digit by itself must be a 9. So this is a 9. And similarly, this Renban forms the same set, right? You have 1 digit, which equals the sum of all the other digits paired together. So this must be 9 then. Also, we have a region sum line where 1 digit adds up to 3 digits, which add up to 2 digits here. It cannot be 9 because both of these are 9. Therefore, it's 6, 7, or 8, because again, it must have right, it must have at minimum 3 unique digits adding up to it, which is 1, 2, and 3 at minimum. So that adds up to 6. Therefore, since it's 6, 7, or 8, the combinations to add up to 6 are 1, 2, 3. The combination to add up to 7 is 1, 2, 4. And the combination to add up to 8 is 1, 2, 5, or 3 and 4. Therefore, on this region sum line, you have to have a 1. So there is a 1 on this region sum line, but that's also combined with a Renban line, right? And 1 is on the Renban line. The only 6-cell Renban line you can have with a 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Because those are the only ones that are consecutive with 1. So this must be some combination of 1 through 6 here. 1 is not there. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are here. But these 3, so this can be, it cannot be 1, 2, and 3 here. Because if this is 1, 2, and 3, this must be 4 and 5 here at minimum, which adds up to 9, which is not allowed. So this cannot be 6. Can it be 1, 2, 4 here? If this is 1, 2, 4 here, this must be 3 and 5 at minimum, which adds up to 8, which doesn't add up to the same amount as 1, 2, and 4. So this cannot be 7. Therefore, this is 8. This must be either 1, 2, 5 or 1, 3, 4. If it's 1, 2, 5, the problem is you don't have any combinations left here to add up to 8, right? With 2 digits. Because 8 requires 1, 7, 2, 6, or 3, 5. If you have 1, 2, and 5, that eliminates all of 1, 7, 2, 6, and 3, 5 in the rest of the column. So this cannot be 1, 2, 5. It has to be a 1, 3, 4 triplet. These 2 digits must add up to 9 without 1, 3, or 4. What does that mean? Therefore, these must be 2 and 7 here, adding up to 9. This cannot be 3 and 4. This has to add up to 8 with these 2 digits. Therefore, it's 2 and 6, adding up to 8. Therefore, this is a 5 here to complete this Renban line. Interesting. We have these two digits sum to the same as these two digits, which sum to the same as these three digits. Huh. Okay, that's not helpful. These two digits must add up to 9 without 2, so there's no 2, 7, without 6 because there's no 3, 6 because of the 2, 6 pair in the box, and without 5, so it can't be 4, 5, it must be 1 and 8 here. The 1 and 8 eliminate 1 and 8 in the rest of the column. This can't be 8. Where is the 8 in box 5? It has to be here. So this is 8. The rest of these digits are 5 and 6, so that's 11. So this must add up to 11. Also, we know these two digits add up to the same as these 5 digits here. 5 unique digits adding up to a sum can only add up to, at minimum, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And at maximum, 2 digits adding up to a sum adds up to a maximum of 17, right? So this is 15 to 17 as a sum, so it must be 6 through 9. This is also 9 digits in this red band. Okay, what does that mean? So these add up to, can be 1 through 7. What are the remaining digits in column? Okay, so we have 5 and 6 here. 8 cannot be here. So therefore 9 cannot be on this red band, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 digits. You would also need, if you tried to have a 9, you would need an 8, but 9 could not be any of these cells. 9 could not be here. 9 would have to be here, but that would also force 8. Where could the 8 be? Can't be any of these cells, and it can't be this one because 9 is already taken. So this is either 1 through 7 or 2 through 1 through 7 or 2 through 8, right? Well, these two digits must add up to 11 because these two digits add up to 11. And they are on the Ren band. The remaining digits in... Okay, so where is the 9 in column 5? Can't be here because of this 9. Can't be here because of this 9. Can't be here because of the region sum line, so this must be a 9 here. The remaining digits now are 5 and 7, right? In column 5. Well, if this is 5, that would force this to be 6 to add up to 11 for the region sum line, but we can't have that because of the 5, 6 pair in the column. Therefore, this must be 7, this must be 5, this 7 must add with a 4 to add up to 11. So we have 4, 5, 6, and 7 on the Ren band already. This can't be 4 here, this can't be 7 here. This adds up to 11, so it could be 1, 2, 8. Any of those are possible. 1 and 8 cannot be here. What are the remaining digits actually in column 6? It's 2, 3, and 7, and these cannot be 7 because of this 7 here. Therefore, this must be 2 and 3, and this must be a 7. The remaining digits in column 4 are 3 and 4. So this is 3 and 4, this is 3 and 4. The remaining digits in columns in box 8 now are 1 and 6. Okay. This then has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Ren band. This must be then 1 or 8 here. So it still could be 1, 2, 8 here. It could be 1, 2, 8, 1, 3, 7, 1, 4, 6. It cannot be 2, 3, 6 or 2, 4, 5, adding up to 11. So 1 always has to be on this region sum line to add up to 11. So this can't be 1. 1 and 8 cannot be here. And we need a 1 and 8 on this Renban, but 1 can't be here. Therefore, 1 has to be one of these two digits, which means it must be with an 8 here, because this cannot be a 1-8 pair because of that 8. Also, this can't be 1-8, this can't be 4-5 adding up to 9, and it can't be 2-7 because we already have that on the Renban line. Therefore, this must be 3 and 6. So this must be a combination of, this is 1, this is 8, and 4 and 5 are in here to form this Renban. Therefore, the rest of box 4 cannot contain 1, 4, 5, and 8. Therefore, this is, we have 2, 3, not 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, or 9, and 9 cannot be any of these 3. Therefore, one of these two is a 9. This can't be 1 because one of these must be a 1 again. So we have a 3, 4, 3, 4 pair, which forces this to be 1. Can this ever be 2, 7 or 3, 6? No, because that would eliminate 2 out of the 4 possibilities for these 3 cells. So therefore, it would not work for any of these. So all of these, this specifically has to be 4 and 5. Therefore, we have a 2, 3, 6, 7 quadruplet here to add up to 9. The remaining digits in that box are 1, 4, 5, 8, 9. And 9 cannot be here. Therefore, one of these two is a 9, which means this can't be 9 here. This is a 4, 5, 4, 5 pair. That means it can no longer be, it could be 1, 2, 8 or 1, 3, 7 here. So this is either 1, 2, 8 or it's 1, 3, 7 because it can no longer be 1, 4, 6 on this region sum line adding up to 11 because of the 4, 5 pair. And one of these is then 2 or 7. This one has to be 2 or 7, which eliminates 2 and 7 in the rest of the row. Actually, we know one of these must be an 8 to add up with 1 to add up to 9. So this can never have an 8 here, which means this is a 1. This can't be 1, 2, 8. It must be 1, 3, 7, which eliminates 7 as a possibility in the remainder of this box. 7 can't be here. 7 can't be here on this Renban. Where is the 7? It has to be here, which means this region sum line must have a 7. So that means it must be 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, because that's the maximum you can ever have on the Renban. And therefore, since this is the maximum and this is 17 is the maximum, sorry, 17 is the minimum you can have on this region sum line. I was talking Renban, I'm not sure why. But yeah, 7 is the most you can have on this region sum line, and it can only be with 1, 2, 3, 4 at minimum to add up to 17 as a minimum. Therefore, these two digits must add up to a maximum of 17, and that fits that value. So this has to be 1, 2, and 7 here. Cannot be 3 and 6 because of the 3, 6 pair in the row. And this must be 3 and 4 here, right, to add up to the 17. This must be then 8 and 9. This has to be 8. This is 9. We have a 5, 6 remaining, but this cannot be 5 because of the 4, 5 pair in the box. So this must be 6, which makes that a 5 to make this Renban work because it's 9 digits in length. This can't be a 6 because of this 6, so therefore this is 5, which makes that a 6. This 5 means neither of these can be 5. So to add up with the 4, we need the 5 to be here. So this is a 1, 4 pair, which eliminates 1 and 4 in the rest of the row. This can't be 1. This must be 3. Sorry, this can't be 4. This must be 3, which makes that a 4. The only remaining digit in box 6 is a 2, so that's a 2. These can no longer be 8 either, so we know one of these is an 8. This can't be 5. We now have a 1, 4, 9 triplet in box 3, which eliminates 1, 4, 9 in the rest of the box. Therefore, this can't be 1 and 4. Let's delete the 1 and 4 then. We have a 5, 8 pair here. This cannot be 2 anymore And this can't be 7 because of the 3, 7 pair in the row. So this is 2, which makes that a 7. This can't be 3, 6, or 9. Sorry, 3 or 6, so that forces this to be 9. We have a 3, 6, 7 triplet in box 4, which eliminates 3, 6, and 7 in the rest of the box, and it cannot be 9, so this must be a 2. Okay. This 3, 4, 3, 4 pair eliminates 3 from the rest of the row, so this can't be 3. This is a 2, which makes this a 3. The last digit in row 7 must be a 5, because it can't be 1, 2, and 7. This can't be 1. What's the minimum of these 4 digits? We have 11 plus 9 at least. That would be 20. You could also have 21 with 3 and 7 here. If you had 6 and 7, that would make this 6, 7, 13 plus 11, which is 24, which is normally allowed for 3 unique digits, but the problem is 9 cannot be here. So since 9 cannot be here, this cannot be 6 and 7 here, because that means the maximum here is 6, 7, 8. So 3 has to be one of these digits. It cannot be 3 here. This then, if we try to make this 20, so 3, 6, 2, and 9, adding up to 20, the only 3 unique digits you can have that adds up to 20 without a 9 are 5, 7, and 8. And we already have a 5 in the column. So this has to add up to 21, which is 3 and 7. Therefore, this must be 6, 7, and 8. This can't be 7 or 8 here because of the 7 and the 5, 8 pair in the row. So this must be 6 here. Neither of these are 6. The 7, 8 pair in column 1 eliminates 7 and 8 from the rest of the column, which makes this a 3, and therefore this is a 7. On this renband, we already have 6, 7, and 8. We also need a 5. Also in column 1, what are the remaining digits? They are 1 and 4. And this cannot be 4 because of the 3, 4 pair in the row. So this must be 1, which makes this a 4. This 1 makes that not a 1. So this is 6, which makes that a 1. This 7 makes this a 6, which makes this a 3, which makes that a 6. On this renband in box 1, we already have a 6, 7, 8. So therefore, it's either 3 through 9 or 2 through 8. Either way, you need a 3 on this renband. But 3 cannot be here on this renband, and it's already not counted here, so it must be here on this renband. We need a 5. 5 cannot be here. 5 has to be one of these 2 digits. We also need a 4. So this is 4, and we have either 2 or 9 with it. Either way, one of these is 4, and one of these is 5, which eliminates 4 and 5 as a pair here. So this must be 1 and 8 here, which makes this 5 and 4. Remaining digits in column 3. One of them is 7, and this can't be 7, so this must be a 7 here. And the other one must be 2 or 9. Well, this can't be 2, therefore this must be 9, which means this is now a 2, 4, 5 triplet. That adds up to 11 for this region sum line. And if you try to make this 13, you would have to have another 2 here, which would break because we already have a 2 in this box in this 2, 4, 5 triplet. So this cannot add up to 13. It must add up to 12. So this is 3 then, and this is a 1 to add up to 12. This 3 means this can't be 3, so this is 4. This 1 means this can't be 1, so this is a 4. This 4 and the 5, 8 pair eliminates 4 and 5 in the same row, so that must be 2, 4, and 5 here. This then becomes a 9. The remaining digits in column 2 are a 2 and an 8. This can't be 2 because of this 2, so this must be an 8, which makes that a 2. What else do we have? This can no longer be a 2 because of this 2. These can't be 4. We have a 1, 9 pair in column 9, which eliminates 1 and 9 in the rest of the column. Therefore, that must be a 7, which makes this a 2, which makes that a 1. This 7 means this can't be 7, so that's a 3, which makes that a 7. The remaining digit in column 9 is a 6. This cannot be a 3-6 pair adding up to 9, so it must be 2 and 7, which makes this a 3-6 pair. This can't be 2 because of this 2, so that makes this a 7, which makes that a 2. This 6 eliminates that 6, so that's a 3, which makes that a 6. This 7 eliminates that 7, so that's an 8, which makes that a 7. And this is just all normal Sudoku. This 2 eliminates that 2, so that's a 6, which makes that a 2. This can't be an 8 because of that 8, so that's a 1, which makes that an 8. This 9 eliminates that 9, so that's 1, which makes that a 9. This 3 can't be that 3 because of... Can't be 3 because of that 3, so this is 4, which makes that a 3. This 4 eliminates this 4, which makes that a 5, which makes that a 4. We have an 8 here, a 5 here, and that leaves an 8 here and a 9 here. And that's the solution. Pretty interesting. The overlays make things... It's interesting, actually. Yeah, because normally you don't have overlapping clues in such a degree. So that actually makes things very interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to say about this. This is pretty cool. I hope, yeah, to see more sort of overlay puzzles like this, because it makes things a little bit more interesting of possibilities you can restrict. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this solve, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.